Guten Morgen, everyone. Pastor George here with our third day in our paranormal Theolog week, and today I'm going to be talking about astrology. Astrology is in case you didn't know, the trying to interpret life through the meaning of stars, right? So this is where we get horoscopes from and all that other type of stuff. And you can tell how impactful this has been on our culture because we designate ourselves by these things, even if we don't believe in it, right? Everyone knows what star sign they were born under, right? Leos, where you at? But other than that, like most people kind of leave it there. But there is a large segment of our population that does believe that astrology matters, that the way the stars move and things like that affect people and affect the spiritual realm and all that type of stuff. And you can tell how impactful this is because of the prevalence of like fortune tellers and astrologers and all those types of people. I haven't looked around in this area, but I'm sure I would not have to go far to find someone who says they're an astrologer or a psychic or something in this area who can read the future and all that type of stuff. And obviously, like magazines, many popular magazines have astrology sections in them, and of course they're all super general, right? So it's like you'll some people will annoy you this month, but you'll end up rising up above that and blah 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 blah. And it's like, okay, well, that could be any number of things. Very rarely is there any sort of concrete definition of what's going to happen. So that's what astrology is, right? It's this idea that you can interpret what's going to happen in your life by when you were born and what stars are rising in the sky. And some people are really into this stuff, right? They'll talk about how Aries is Mars is rising or whatever, and so they're whatever juju is off, that type of stuff. The point is that it's popular and people believe it. Maybe some of you believe it, but you shouldn't believe it. I'm not even going to get into like the scientific reasons why, but just from a biblical standpoint, there is not a lot of reason to believe in astrology, because the Bible tells us to not consort with those types of things. In fact, it actually holds up astrology as something that is not going to help you at all. Because in the book of Isaiah, the Lord is speaking to the king of Babylon. And in the ancient world, astrology was super important. It's how you got everything that you wanted done. So you would get your astrologers to come in, or the wise men. Usually the wise men are also astrologers that would read the stars. This is what the wise men were in the Bible. And they would come in and they would help interpret. And you see this with Pharaoh, who gets people to try and interpret his dreams and all these other things. So anyway, Nebuchadnezzar wants people to interpret his things for him in the book of Daniel, and stuff like that. So it's a very big part of their culture. And so in Isaiah, the Lord is talking to the king of Babylon, and he goes, what can you do? Astrology is weak against me. You can turn to it, but you will not understand anything, right? Because there's no way for us to get to the Lord through any other means than simply listening to and following him, right? We can't read the future through the natural world. This is just how people get corrupted, right? Because once you start being able to think you can do these things, then you believe you are more powerful than you really are. And, the natural course of hubris kind of plays out from that point. So I would say that we should not, as Christians, believe in astrology. I think it's something you can do for fun, in the sense of like, I'm a Leo or whatever, and that's it. I don't think you can put any stock in it. I think it's kind of fun to learn the signs or whatever, but it's beyond that. It's not very helpful nor endearing or engendering of biblical virtue to do anything with astrology. So that's my general feelings on astrology. If you really do believe in it, then you can, and this isn't convicting you enough, then you can just kind of go to scientific sources and they'll point out that astrology doesn't work. Anyway, tomorrow we're going to talk about angels. Or no, you know what? We'll end on a good note. So we'll end on Friday by talking about angels. So we'll talk about demons tomorrow. So I will talk to you guys about demons tomorrow. See you then.